So here we have some activities that you can do with just using a tennis ball. All of the activities that I will show you, I'm going to show you a quick version of how to do them just to demonstrate. This way you have an idea of what to go and practice. And then they shouldn't take you as quickly as I'm going to show you. So you can go out and you can practice them. You can challenge yourself. You can do it with somebody else if you would like. I'll start out with some of the easier activities and skills that you can do, progressing to some of them that are a little bit more challenging. So the first one we have that you can do with the tennis ball is throw it up and catch it. So you're going to underhand toss it to yourself and catch with two hands. Underhand toss, catch with two hands. Underhand toss, catch with two hands. Okay, you can do that for as many times as you like. Then you can bounce and catch with two hands. Bounce and catch with two hands. Bounce, catch with two hands. Bounce and catch with one hand. Bounce, catch with one hand. Bounce, catch with one hand. And the other hand. Bounce, catch with one hand. Okay, you can take your time doing these if it's something that you need to practice a little bit of throwing and catching or bouncing and catching. Take your time with that. If you have a partner and you'd like to bounce back and forth to each other, okay? Bounce the ball on the ground, pass to your partner, they do the same thing back. Those are a couple of easy bounce and catch and throwing and catching activities that you can do with a tennis ball. So here are a few tennis ball activities using a bucket. If you don't have a bucket, you could use a bin or a can or something that the ball can go into. Whatever works for you with something that you have at home. Okay, here's a couple of different things that you can do. You can start with an underhand toss. Practice your underhand tossing into your bin. Whatever hand that you're throwing with, the ball faces up, so you're tossing underneath, and then you step with your opposite foot. Okay, if you want to move further back, if you want to move a little bit closer, challenge yourself, or just practice getting better, that's fine. So you're going to bring your arm back, step with your opposite foot, and underhand toss into the bucket. Then you can bounce and catch into the bucket. Have it bounce on the ground, not catch in the bucket. Bounce and go into the bucket. Bounce, go into the bucket. Bounce, go into the bucket. Move a little bit closer, move a little bit further back. If you have someone that you are playing with, you could each take turns. You can challenge each other. That's kind of up to you how you want to work that. And then you can even strike it with the palm of your hand. You can bounce it on the ground and hit it into the bucket. Probably don't want to be that far away when you do that though. Okay, you can use your hand as your striking implement for that. So here's a couple of different fun things you can do with the tennis ball and something that it can go into. A bin, a bucket, or a can. Okay, so this next couple of activities that you can do are using a striking implement, so either a racket or even a piece of cardboard would work, as long as it's strong and it's not bent, or you can fold a piece of cardboard over so it's a little bit stronger. If you hit the tennis ball with that, it will work. If you have a racket, that's great too. Now, if you are using a racket with a tennis ball, you must do this as far away from your house as possible. If you do not have the space to do it, I wouldn't do it at all. And we're not hitting back and forth with a partner or anything like that. That's for the tennis courts. It's probably not a safe space to be doing that in your backyard. So here are just two simple things that you can do by yourself if you have something to strike it with, okay? Striking it on the ground and catching it, or underhand in the air and catching it. Now, when you do strike the tennis ball, you want to make sure that the face of the racket is straight up and down. If it's curved at all or turned at all when you hit the tennis ball, that's the way that it will go. So if you're hitting it to yourself, you want it to stay down like this. So when I hit it, I want it to stay down, face down. You can try doing it a couple of times in a row. If you are with someone else, you can challenge each other if you so choose. Then if you want to hit it up in the air, okay, you're going to hold the racket. You're just going to flip your wrist. Instead of hitting it down, you're going to flip it, so you're going to hit it up, and your racket's going to stay the same. If you turn it at all, that's where the ball will go. It's not going to go straight up and down, so you want to keep it face up and down straight. Catch it. amount of times. Those are 2 simple challenges. I wouldn't do anything more than that. You need the proper space to do that, like a tennis court. So, of course, a great thing you can do with a tennis ball is practice throwing and catching. It's easiest, of course, if you have a partner or someone to throw and catch with. If you don't, we set up something that you can throw at targets. Just make sure always that it's not near your house, and it's always that you're throwing away from your house, not towards your house, okay? So if you have a partner and you practice throwing and catching with your partner in your yard back and forth, that's awesome. And if you don't, you can set up something like a target to practice your throw. You won't be able to practice your catching, but you can still practice your throw. Now, a reminder, we practiced this once when we were in school, but the way to go over, we're going to go over how to throw, okay? Whatever hand that you're throwing with, right? You take the ball, put it in that hand, and bring it all the way back behind you, all the way. And your body kind of twists a little bit, but you want to make sure that your feet stay where your target is. So if I'm throwing that way, I want to make sure that my feet are stay pointed towards that way. Okay, and I step with my opposite foot, and I throw the ball, release it here, and then I follow through after. Okay, so it goes behind my head, step, throw, and follow through. Now, if you need a little bit of help with that, you can always point at your target. That might help you a little bit. Okay, behind your head, step, and throw. Okay, so if you have someone to play catch with, great. If not, if you want to set up some targets like I did, I just used some water bottles, put them on a bucket. Like I said, I'm throwing away from my house, not towards anything. Okay, I could practice throwing at some targets. You could set it back up, go back to a spot that you feel comfortable with, and you can practice throwing that way. Okay, have fun. And one last activity that you can do with some tennis balls is you can try juggling if you have 2 or 3 tennis balls. Now, I'm not very good at juggling, so I'm not going to show you how to do it with 3 because they'd be all over the place. But if you'd like to give that a shot, by all means, you can. Or if you have 2 and you want to try juggling with 2 balls. Now, some people can do 2 balls in one hand. I can't do it. Once again, I'm not going to show you how. But if you'd like to give that a try, you can. There's some fun juggling challenges if you'd like to try. Hope you had fun with our tennis ball activities that you can do at home.